and also explained about the rules for constructing diagram. Sir also highlighted about the pictorial representation and finally elaborated on the topic box plot and viscous flow. And today's session topic is on hypothesis testing. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. So without any delay, I hand over the session to Sir.
Good morning, all. Uh, this 5 days lecture of mine encompasses all the concepts of statistics, and as I've been telling you that teaching everything elaborately would not be say possible. Therefore, I have just notified some glimpse and important concepts of statistics only. Before going to discuss with you about hypothesis testing, let me, I think it is also in your syllabus like correlation regression. I would like to emphasize upon these two concepts, and then I will be going to teach you about test hypothesis. This correlation regression are the two tools which are inevitable, and you cannot find any applied research without using these two tools, correlation regression. So therefore, I want to give some importance for correlation regression, and after that we will move to inferential statistics and the testing of hypothesis. So 1 second. Correlation regression are two different tools when we come to the question of more than one variable. For example, we have studied how to find mean, median, mode for a single characteristics. For example, height, weight, etc., income, expenditure. These are the for these variables we find the measure of central tendency, measures of dispersion, skewness, kurtosis. We made so many diagrammatic representation of data. Everything is there. But apart from that, when we come across more than one variable, so any study involve not a single variable, some variable associated with that. That is called, then the procedure may be extended to note what kind of relationship that these two variables have. That is called correlation and regression. That relationship study is done by correlation and regression. Now, let me have an example. When we think about income, income alone is not a variable to be considered. Expenditure is a variable, savings is a variable. So amount spent on different categories is also a variable. It may be income tax, amount spent on income tax, it is also a variable. So there are so many things are available together with the income, and they are interrelated also. Expenditure is depending upon surely income. Saving is based upon your income. Therefore, when we are encountering more than two or more variables, then we can make further studies by having certain measurements which describe the relationship between two or more variables. That is done by correlation analysis. Correlation. Uh, what is correlation? What is the difference between correlation and regression? In every book, you may think about regression, correlation are given. First regression as the first chapter, and the next chapter only goes for correlation. We may think about correlation and regression are two different, two connected procedures. Different. Yet they are different. In what way? I'll explain you later. So, what is correlation? Correlation is the degree of relationship between two or more variables. One second. Come on. Something wrong with say hosting that PPT with correlation. Okay, I'll explain that and I'll try to open that slide soon, or from website also. So what is correlation? Correlation is a measure of degree of relationship between two or more variables. It is a measure of degree of relationship between two or more variables. What is meant by degree? To what extent two variables are closely associated with each other? To what extent? So to what extent means what? If x moves 1 centimeter, y should also move 1 centimeter, like that, If the both movements are same, then we will get 10% agreements. X is having 10% agreement with y. What is 10% means? 10% means 100 by 100. What does it mean? 100 by 100 is equal to 1. Therefore, the maximum value of the correlation is 1, whereas the minimum value of the correlation coefficient is -1. What does it mean? When it is -1, it have complete disagreement. For example, the value of correlation which has positive magnitude is called positive correlation. What is positive correlation? It says if we increase every increase in one variable influences an increase in another variable, or in other words, if an increase in one variable contributes, so if a decrease in one variable contributes a decrease in another variable, then these two variables are said to have positively correlated. Examples: amount of say income, expenditure. Another example which I can quote: income, savings, area of the soil, that area under cultivation, yield, rainfall, yield, a number of hours of that plate with the virus kept, and the multiplication of virus. So like that, there are so many variables which are positively correlated, can be quoted. Number of plants, number of fruits, like that, so many examples can be quoted. Therefore, these kind of variables are called positively correlated variables. What is negative correlated variable? In physics, In physics, volume is inversely proportional to pressure. Therefore, volume and pressure are inversely correlated. That is negatively correlated. That is called negative correlation. Another example which I can quote. Suppose I want to reach a destination. If I increase my speed, the time required for reach the destination is becoming decreased. So when we increase the speed, time will be decreased. Or I want to finish a job, construction, house construction, anything, something like that. If I increase the number of laborers, then quickly I can finish the job. So these things are nothing but negatively correlated variables. Remember, correlation does not tell you about the relationship. Rather, it tells you how close these variables are. How close these variables are associated together. So unfortunately, I cannot open that PPT, which I have prepared for correlation.
Sir, why, sir? Any problem in the
No,
version of?
I have got another PPT. I'll show it. Huh?
Okay, sir. If any help, you can also send the PPT to our mail ID so
Okay,
that we
okay.
can present it for you.
தேடுங்க இருக்கும். பென்ட்ரைவ்ல சரி பண்ணுவாரு.
Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Now, hello.
Yes, sir. Continue, sir.
Yeah. What happened? I do not know. Varshini, பென்ட்ரைவ்ல தேடு. ஏன் ஹோஸ்ட் ஆக மாட்டேங்குது?
Sir, young sir.
One second, please. Hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Your PPT is visible, sir.
Yes,
PPT.
sir.
Okay. So, as I told you, the correlation is the degree of relationship between two or more variables. I told you. Just I picked as with an agency with some other source. And
Sir,
how
இந்த
to find
actual
correlation?
இருக்குங்க சார்.
Yes.
நீங்க அது ஆக்சுவலா ஒரு விண்டோ மாதிரி இருக்கிறதானுங்க சார் உங்க பிபிடி இப்போ நீங்க காமிக்கிறது 3 stages to solve correlation problem.
Yes.
No problem, sir.
So, how to determine the relationship between two variables? The strength of relationship, the degree of relationship between two or more variables. So, how to determine those things? It is possible by making use of one methodology called, say, what I told, all these things are here. Positive correlation, negative correlation. When it is involved more than two variables, only two variables, it is called simple correlation. When it is involved more than two variables, we can have partial correlation, multiple correlation. And when one of the basic assumption of correlation is the linear relationship between these variables, linearly related. These two variables are linearly related. So such a thing we call it as linear correlation. There exists a nonlinear correlation also. So these are the types of correlation based upon the nature of the study only, not different meaning of correlation. All these correlation meant only one thing. It measures the strength of relationship between two or more variables. That's all. So how to measure correlation? So for positive correlation, as I told you, the increase in one variable contributes to the increase in another variable. So now look at this example. If I can I find correlation between these two variables, income and weight? I do not know whether these two are correlated or not. No, it won't be so. So when we use the formula to find the correlation, computer will give you some result. Such result is called nonsense correlation. That means by using the formula, you can get some answer. That is called nonsense correlation because you may get correlation for two different variables which are not at all related together. You can find, even when you use the formula, you can find the number of crows in this world and the number of people living in this world. There is no correlation at all. Now, how we measure correlation? Can you hear me? Hello?
Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. So I told you about nonsense correlation. So when there is a cause, there is a correlation. But when there is a correlation, it does not necessarily mean for a cause behind it. That's the example I told you. You can even find correlation for two different unrelated variables. Therefore, this kind of say correlation has to be used with caution. Okay. So naturally, it happens. So there is a thing called coefficient of determination. Coefficient of determination is what? So explain the variation and a total variation. This describes how much the data contributes, say, a variation in other variable. That is called, I'll tell you what is it in explaining about you regression. Okay. So I want to proceed my discussion with reference to regression because I have some troubleshooting problem. Nothing wrong in it. What is regression? At last I have got it. Can you see correlation analysis slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay, at last I have got it. Thank God. So this is the slide which I could not find it. Okay, there are certain simple things to be noted while using correlation analysis. Here we have two variables, both are assumed to be random. For example, I may have correlation between height and weight, bivariate case. So it belongs to a bivariate population. That is the essential assumption behind correlation coefficient. Without noticing what the assumptions are behind, just using the formula may give you some answer, but that answer won't be the right answer. That is, correlation cannot be done with regression, but regression can be done with the correlation model. I'll tell you what is regression thing later. So, how to measure correlation coefficient? How to measure the correlation coefficient? The first one is to measure correlation by means of diagram. Take takes the two values x and y axis in x and y axis, and you draw the picture. If all the points are inclined towards the right direction, it refers positive correlation. If it is not so, if it is scattered much over x and y plane, it is called no correlation. If it is left side oriented convexly, gathered together, it is called negative correlation. By making use of that correlation, one can have an idea about whether the correlation is positive or negative or not. Now, this is the formula found by Pearson to find correlation coefficient. The numerator is called a covariance term. The denominator is called a standard deviation term. And even if we kind of find the correlation, we may make test the correlation. That will be discussed while I go for testing of significance chapter. So, okay. Any doubt about the correlation coefficient, sir? Because many of you might have used it. Any doubt about it? Hello? Anybody else?
No
Okay.
doubt, sir.
Number two, there is a thing called rank correlation. What is the rank correlation? It is calculated when the observations are given in ranks. rather than actual observations. So in such cases, rank correlations can be found. So this can be applied even when the real data are continuous scale. After assigning them ranks, I can make use of this Spearman's rank correlation. In biological problems, I told you many things, majority of the characteristics are not quantitative but qualitative. Therefore, I may make use of rank correlation much than the Pearson's correlation. Okay. So how it comes? It comes measuring correlation by means of difference of ranks. So you find the ranks difference and square the difference, and you will get the use this formula. You can get this answer for this problem. Okay. For example, the examples for this correlation analysis will be discussed in our class. He'll be giving some formula for finding correlation, and you may do it by yourself, both rank correlation and normal correlation. Okay. Now, is it visible, my slide? Partial correlation? Hello?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Partial correlation. Okay. Partial correlation measures the degree of association between two random variables with the effect of a set of controlling other random variables removed. For example, yes, some noise is there, please. Okay, I told you about correlation measures this how close two variables are together. It is a measure of closedness of two variables. Measure of closedness of two variables. What is partial correlation? I told you the partial correlation can be found when we have more than two variables in our study. Example, yield of a crop is affected by very many variables: rainfall, temperature, soil fertility, area, weather. Many things are there, and all these variables contribute towards the yield of a crop. Suppose I want to find the correlation between what rainfall and yield alone, keeping the effect of other variables, keeping away from the effect of other variables, then it is given by partial correlation. In other words, exactly it gives you what how much association between rainfall and yield, negating the effect of all other variables. That is called partial correlation. This also occur. I told you many times. Every scientific study does not involve only one variable. There are so many variables to occur. Therefore, I want to find the relationship between these two variables. Next, what I told you, this example, it is shown here. Okay, the formula for partial correlation coefficient is given by this. What is R12? Suppose there are three variables, x1, x2, and x3. R12 represents the correlation between these two variables only, x1 and x2. X1 and x3, R13 means x1 and x3, R23 means x2 and x3. Remember, there is no question that which variable is depending upon which. There is no such question occurs in correlation. If at all there is some relationship, we want to know how much they are related together. That is the main objective of correlation, how they are related, which is depending upon which. Therefore, we don't worry about all these things. Just to find the strength of relationship between two or more variables. That is called correlation. So this is the formula for measuring correlation. If there are three variables, it is possible. What is meant by R12.3? It means R12.3 means what it is? Correlation between first variable and the second variable, keeping the third variable aside. That is called a partial correlation between x1 and x2, keeping the effect of x3 away. Next, similarly, we can get three kinds of correlation: R13.2 and R23.1. Okay. So we have seen about partial correlation. This is only for three variable case. But in when using computer, you need not worry about how many variables are there, because it is going to calculate everything. Therefore, you may have 10 variables also, and we can find what exactly these two variables are related. In biostatistics, we may come across so many variables. Your height and weight. Height is depending on weight. Weight is depending on height. I can find height and weight. Type of food intake, weight get increased. With that assumption, I can find the type and amount of food intake, increase in weight and height. So if it is the case, I can have three measures. Amount of food intake, another one is height, another one is weight. Three variables. Giving a medicine will make an impact in curing some ailment. Nowadays, previously in our days, we used to be given only one antibiotic for a disease. Now what happens, they are mixing two or more antibiotics and giving to you. Amoxicillin, claxicillin. So I can have how much, say how fastly they are getting cured when I use two kind of antibiotic. So I can find correlation between the amount of thing used and days required for getting cureness. Of course, here both should be variables. Both should be variable. In this example which I told you, only one is the variable, that is number of days required for getting healing. Another thing is I may not be giving a lesser amount of dosage, higher amount of dosage as such. It should be confined within a dosage interval only. I cannot give say 1000 milligrams of say paracetamol like that. It has to be kept in an interval. Therefore, with that I can make a study within that interval. Right? What is multiple correlation? In multiple correlation, we are dealing with situations that involve three or more variables. So what it says? It says the total effect of one variable, a group of variables on another variable. In that example which I told you already, yield is affected by rainfall, temperature, area, say type of the soil, if intercropping, if it is there, depth of blowing, I can say. So many examples, so many variables may contribute the yield of a particular crop. I want that what is the total correlation between the yield and a set of all variables affecting the yield taken together. All the variables taken together. The impact of all the variables taken together on Y. If I want to find such a relationship, that is called a multiple correlation. That is called a multiple correlation. Here also an example. Weight of a person can be depending upon their height and the age, sex, etc., etc. So sex is not a variable here. Sex is only an attribute or attributable qualitative variable. If I cannot use sex here, I may use height, age, and The formula for measuring the correlation is this. So all these formula are depending on the simple correlation coefficients. Simple means small r, capital means capital R. I told a coefficient of determination is there, but coefficient of determination tells you something else. How much variance is contributed by this, all the independent, all the variables which influences y are dependent variable. So I'll come to that concept when I teach regression. Can you see regression analysis slide?
Not visible, sir.
Okay, 1 second. I think now you are seeing it. Regression analysis. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So any question about correlation, please? Feel free of asking that.
Sir, good morning, sir. I have one doubt, sir. In some cases, our correlation coefficient that R is equal to 0, then there is no correlation occurs there. Then what is the other choice, sir? If we are taking some data, then correlation will be 0. Then what is the other choice for that, sir?
Other choice for what?
There is no correlation occurs there. There are 3 types: positive, negative, and 0.
Okay.
Then we can move on for regression or anything. What is the solution for that, sir?
When correlation measures only the strength of relationship. So if it is 0, then no relationship. It has to be declared. But at the same time, it should have a bivariate distribution. So when we take simple correlation, it should be arising from a bivariate distribution. If you can't understand, both should be a random variable. Both will occur together. For example, straw yield, paddy yield, like that, both should be a random variable. Height, weight of persons from a sample, like that. If it is 0, then there is no correlation at all. So you have to mention that there is no correlation between these two things. That is the only possibility.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. But think about, if it is 0, if you are strongly believe that there is some correlation between these two variables which you are using in your study, then you can make use of say whether other variables are contributing something like that. So that study has to be go in detail according to the objective of the study.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
But I told you, suppose you are writing examination, your neighbor is also writing examination, neighbor who is sitting nearby you. Suppose, can I say that your marks are correlated with that person? Is it possible?
If I show him the answer,
Yeah.
he will get definitely. He will
He
get
is a
more.
copycat, then there will be more correlation between your marks and his marks. But naturally, things won't be so. Even if it is not, he is not copying, when you use the formula, you can find correlation, but there is no cause at all. When there is cause, there must be a correlation there. But just because of having a correlation coefficient, you cannot say that two variables are correlated. So in computer, we are giving only a data and we are using the formula unless you notice that what are the variables you are giving, it doesn't have any meaning at all. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Okay,
sir.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, which I told you earlier, statistical tools for studying the relationship between the variables is called, there are two things, regression analysis and correlation analysis. We may think about both are dealing with the relationship, then why can't we study the correlation first and regression next? These two things are related only. No. It is a different aspect. It is correlation is a different aspect. Regression is different aspect. Nobody exactly knows what is the difference, but I'll tell you here. What is regression? I told you in correlation we measure the strength of relationship between two or more variables. Strength of relationship between two or more variable, that we call it as correlation. We don't know how they are related, in what way they are related. If X and Y are related, the relationship can be assessed by correlation. But what kind of relationship? X is equal to Y square, or Y is equal to X square, or Y is equal to log X, or Y is equal to A plus BX. So such kind of relationship can be assessed only by means of regression. So consider these situations: age and blood pressure, food intake and weight gain, intensity of stimulus and reaction time, amount of drug and response, income and expenditure. So these are the examples that one can potentially make use of regression. So what is regression? Regression is a technique of modeling the relationship between two or more variables. Or in other words, we may extract the relationship hidden in sample data on the variables. That is called a regression analysis. So when you cook rice in the pressure cooker, we may put some water. How many tumblers of water you are using? What is the quantity of the rice you are having in that cooker? I can find a regression equation, or I can find the correlation between these two for getting a goodly rice cooked in a good manner. There are so many things are there. On the other day, I told one example that even though you are people from chemistry, or you are a person from chemistry or physics, etc., I told you, you may not have a physical balance or chemical balance while cooking. But nobody knows, when cooking is made by a robot, then the amount of turmeric powder, salt has to be given in the form of program with exact measure. Nobody knows. Even cooking may become also scientific in future. But what we are unknown, hidden agenda in that is cooking and serving with love. That could not be done by robots. Okay, coming to the point. So regression is used in social sciences, biological sciences, chemical sciences, economics, student management, physical sciences. So what is the uses of regression? It finds relationship between two or more variables. Therefore, we can summarize the data. We can summarize all the data contained in y, all the data contained in x by the form of in the form of an equation. So it is also a data condensation. And I told you on the other day, estimation of parameters. So regression coefficients. In this time, I would like to tell you. Can you anybody tell the meaning of coefficient? You might have encountered so many coefficients. Yule coefficient, correlation coefficient. Maybe pi may be a coefficient. Mathematics. What is the exact meaning of coefficient? Anybody can tell? Yes. Any meaning for coefficient, madam? Hello, are you there or not? So you have made in your mind that I will open my mouth only for yawning. Yeah, coefficient means a value which does not have any unit of measurements. Coefficient by all means it does not have any unit of measurement like meter, centimeter, grams, like that. That's called coefficient. Now coming to the regression coefficient. So we require a regression coefficient for determining certain problems. Prediction is the main purpose of regression among all the four things. If the predictor variables are controlled by an experimenter, then the effect of various values on the response variable can be studied in order to control the response variable. Suppose I am just heating some element to certain temperature. So I can measure the amount that element is getting expanded by this heating. So what is response variable? The expansion is the response variable. Amount of temperature, the heat is called the predictor variable. Therefore, if I can control the temperature, I can control the y value also. So the regression analysis can be used for comparison. So in regression, normally they will call it as independent variable, dependent variable. In regression, it is better to call that variable independent variable as predictor variables, response variable for dependent variable. So what is the form of the model in regression? It is response variable equal to predictor variables plus random errors. Remember, these two things are not at all verified by those fellows who are doing regression analysis just for the sake of money, or who does not know the statistics in depth. These assumptions are very much essential, and without using these assumptions, without the validity of the assumptions, the regression analysis won't be valid. Okay. If you have only one dependent variable, that is called a independent variable, that's called predictor variable, it is called a simple regression. Remember, the regression technique which I am teaching simply is the basis for many machine learning algorithms. You may not be knowing that. Machine learning, artificial intelligence, people are using some advanced type of regression. Therefore, the basic concepts are described in this class. There are so many types of regression, but as far as the variables are considered, there are only two types of regression: simple regression and multiple regression. Okay. While I taught correlation coefficient, I told that x and y both should be random variable. Here, the things are different. Y is random variable, but x need not be a random variable. What I mean, for all the problems which are used for correlation can be done with regression also. But all the problems used in regression may not be fit for correlation coefficient. Here, y is a random variable, x need not be and need not be a random variable, right? These things are required for the assumptions to be used for regression analysis. There is a thing called linearity assumption, which also may be verified by graphs. So how we are doing simple regression? In simple regression, first analysis to be done. That many of you are just like that using the formula and finding the results. But first thing required in regression analysis to plot the points x and y. But remember that if there are more than two predictor variables, then plotting won't be easy, and understanding the plot won't be easy. Won't be easy. See, for this, not exactly the straight line. So note that this is a straight line. This is parabolic. This is exponential. This is cubic curve. On plotting the points itself, one may be noticing that what kind of relationship that those variables will have. So this is called the preliminary step for doing any regression analysis. But formula are available for doing only linear regression. If the equation is not linear, then we can convert that equation into linear equation by taking logarithms from or by some means and do the same simple regression analysis. There are two methods. We can use either the method of least squares or MLE method. So I think both are not required deep for you as far as your application standards are concerned. This is the regression equation that beta naught, beta 1x, This will tell you how beta naught is an intercept, beta 1 is slope in mathematics we call. But it tells you how much y will get increased or y will be affected if x is increased or decreased by 1 unit. If I increase 1 unit in x, what will be impact in y? That is described by beta 1 here. Okay. Okay. So what I told you here is described here. Don't get confused by these e square terms. This is, we call it as residual sum of squares in statistics. It is not required for you because many of you are in only applied level. Okay. Okay. Then I can find the beta 1 and beta naught by this formula, beta naught. Remember, this formula numerators are same for correlation coefficient Pearson formula, and this term is called covariance of between x and y. So we can measure beta naught, beta 1 by using this formula. The example for regression, if I give it, it will be very interesting, but Sir will be giving the problems and you can solve it through R. That will be quite interesting. So I told you about multiple regression. Here there are so many predictors are there and only one response variable is here. Therefore, this is called multiple regression. So how we are finding, how we are solving the multiple regression is done by method of least squares. Don't worry about all this methodology. You just give the value to the computer and the computer will tell you what the results are. Remember, madam told I get zero correlation, sir. What shall I do? When there is zero correlation, you have to say that there is no relationship between these two variables. That's all. But what happen if I get the correlation value as 0.2 or 0.02 or 0.002 or 0.3? There is a test called as test for testing the significance of correlation coefficient that is given here. I will teach you while I teach testing a hypothesis there. If it is significant, then these are the inferences which I can make from the acceptance or rejection of the null hypothesis that beta is equal to 0. We will see. Now I told you about the coefficient of determination in the previous correlation coefficient class itself. Actually, I should not have told that in correlation class, but why coefficient of determination is a different concept. It tells you what is the proportion of the explanatory variables or explained by the variables explanatory variable. For example, we may have so many x variables here, so many x variables in say multiple regression. So for example, I am telling you if these variables are, say for example, if coefficient of determination is 0.99, what it means, 99% of the variation is contributed by all the x values taken for our study. For example, y is yield, x may be rain, x1 may be rainfall, x2 may be temperature, x3 may be moisture in the air, x4 may be area. Yeah, I may know from the coefficient have a measure how much adequately the data are taken to find x or to find y given the set of variables x's. And I mean that 99% of point of variation is in y is responsible for contributed. Therefore, no harm in it. If it is very lesser, 23 like that, 23.23 like that, r square value, coefficient of determination is very less. It means more variables have to be probed to find the exact, to represent the or to contribute the variance of y. And there is a test to analyze the variance. So that those things which I already explained are given here. Of course, I have another thing is called non-parametric regression. I think that is rarely had by you, but there is a thing called non-parametric measure of regression, which is in the book called Biostatistics by Daniel. I think not necessary for you. How to validate the regression, that is the mean of normal plot of residuals is one methodology. So these things are not exactly required for you. Okay. So I have given some problems which could be done by making use of some other software like Minitab and SPSS. So because it is not involved here, we can do these problems using R. That's all I want to share with correlation regression. exactly if you want anything about these two tools, no research, of course, majority of the research would not skip the usage of these two different tools, correlation and regression. If at all you have any real doubt, I am ready to clarify it. I am giving this gap because I want to discuss with you a new concept called the testing of hypothesis. Therefore, I just leave you for some minutes.
Dear participants, kindly ask your queries. No, sir.
சார் எக்ஸ்கியூஸ் மீ, ரிகரஷன் நிறைய கோஎஃபிஷியன்ட்ஸ்க்கு நிறைய வேரியபிள்ஸ்க்கு ஏதாச்சும் பண்ண முடியுங்களாங்க சார்?
That's why we call it as multiple regression.
சரிங்க சார்.
Multiple regression.
ஹெல்ப்
There are many types of regressions are available. Logistic regression, etc., Bayesian regression நிறைய இருக்கு. So all the such special type of regressions are useful in artificial intelligence and machine learning nowadays. But the basic is this regression.
ஓ சரி சார், சரிங்க சார். தேங்க்ஸுங்க சார். தேங்க்ஸுங்க சார். தேங்க்ஸுங்க சார்.
Any other queries? Now I call upon Mrs.
Yes.
Now I call upon Mrs. Solai Rani to give the vote of thanks.
I have not finished the lecture, madam. I'll be continuing with by up to 1 o'clock.
Yes sir, yes sir.
I won't skip it now itself because I want to discuss some new topic. I am giving certain minutes gap in between. I am just now starting test of hypothesis. I think my classes, next class will be on Monday. In that, there are a lot of things to be discussed. Okay, we'll discuss about test of hypothesis. This is another concept in statistics we are making use of. I will explain the test of hypothesis with a layman example. Suppose that while you are going to a shop or while you are going home tonight or today evening, your child is wants you to get some grapes for her. So you are going to a fruit shop and you asked for a kilogram of grapes. Will you purchase it as it is? Will you purchase? You will ask. Will you purchase grapes as it is?
No, sir. We'll ask for some samples.
We ask
One
for,
or two.
you
Voluntarily, we'll take
some
one
grapes?
and we'll eat and see the taste of that, and then we'll go for the purchase.
Yeah. So 1 and 2 is not, somebody may take more than one nowadays, some intelligent people. So suppose that if I take some, what is that guess there? My guess is, when I ask the shopkeeper, what is the quality of this food? This is so good, sir, so good, madam, it is so sweet. Like that, he used to tell that. That is the hypothesis given by him. In order to test the hypothesis, you take certain sample and you eat it. And if it is sweet, you will purchase it. If it is not sweet, you are not going to purchase it. So taking the sample is you are taking some grapes. Analyze it, you are tasting it. Based upon your analysis, you take a decision whether to purchase the grapes or not to purchase the grapes. This is the ideology, same ideology, which is behind the testing of hypothesis. Testing of hypothesis. You want to purchase a shirt for your husband or son. You may not be knowing exact size of his shirt. Then you will have a assumption. So he will be like him. Purchase that accordingly to your guess. The guess may be validated, valid or not. That is depending upon the actual thing. Now, what is an hypothesis? The hypothesis is nothing but a guess about the unknown parameter of the population. Parameter, I mean that any characteristics which describes the population. But specifically in statistics, we have certain things called mean, variance, or standard deviation. These things are alone called parameters. But when we make a guess about that parameter, that is called a hypothesis. Suppose I find a new variety of paddy. This new variety will give you this much of yield. I am claiming that as an investigator. But the farmer or a fellow who wants to purchase that paddy wanted to test it. Then he may get some amount of paddy seeds from me, and he used to sow, to say for example 10 or 15 acres of land. From that yield, he may decide whether to purchase or whether to cultivate that paddy variety or not. That is called a test of hypothesis. As far as you are concerned, it is taught in some other under some other topic called test of significance. There is a major difference between these two methodologies. Both are having the same formula, etc. But yet they are differing in some aspect. Now, coming again to that first example. You take a sample, or the shopkeeper will give you a sample. He will plug out some fruits by his own, and when you eat, you purchase it. Will it be always sweet when you go home? After packed, after having purchased, when you go home?
May or may not be sweet, sir. Depends upon.
It may be
Or
sour.
it may not be. Yes, sir.
It may not be sweet.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so,
sir.
there is a possibility that your guess or your inference or your decision may get wrong. That is called errors that we are encountering with a hypothesis. Jokely, as a joke, I used to tell this example. Even when we are seeking a fellow for marriage, what our custom we are doing, we are going to the bride's house to see the bride for only one day. That is a sample. Based upon one day, we decide whether to marry him or not to marry him. By looking all the parameters, we decide whether to marry or not to marry him. This is also used to tell as a joke, testing of hypothesis. But here we are taking a sample of seeing her or him for only one day. That's all. All right. Because you might be knowing about there are two kinds of errors which are involved in testing of hypothesis. What are the errors? These two errors are called a type 1 error and a type 2 error. You might be, in this context, I would like to tell another story because all of you are keeping mum. Do you know the story of Tenali Rama's cat? Tenali Rama cat?
Yes, sir. Hot milk,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. He challenged the king that my cat won't be drinking milk. The king was exclaimed, is there any cat in this world that it won't drink milk at all? Yes, my cat is doing so. So how to prove it? He got a kitten and he dipped the mouth of the kitten into a hot milk, and the kitten ran away. And again, next day also he does in the same manner. Third day also same manner. Then what happens, whenever it sees the milk, the kitten run away on seeing that milk at all. So in test of hypothesis also, there is a possibility of two errors. This test of hypothesis, as I told you, it is not at all only a subject. We are doing it for our research. We are testing and making decisions every day, from purchasing vegetables, from purchasing rice, choosing a motorbike, choosing a brand of shirt. All these are based upon testing hypothesis only, right? In the testing hypothesis, as Madam Anuradha told, the result won't be as right as what we have already tested. The grapes given by the shopkeeper may be sweet, but contrary to that, after getting purchased it won't be sweet. So what kind of error? This is nothing but accepting the bad item. I purchased the sours, the grape which is not at all sweet. That is accepted the bad item. What is the next thing which I can tell? By some fruits may not appear good in our eyes, but there may be actually sweet. I'm looking those grapes, I may not purchase it. So rejecting the good in everyday's life, there is a possibility of doing two kinds of errors. One is accepting the bad, rejecting the good. What is the error that, what kind of error that the Tenali Rama's cat has done? Tenali Rama cat reject the good. Why it does so? Because the sample of milk given to it is like that. So based upon sample only, it took a decision that every milk is hot like that. So in every decision we are making in our life, there are two possibilities: accepting the good, rejecting the bad. The same kind of thing can occur in test hypothesis also. Rejecting a true hypothesis is called a type 1 error. Accepting a hypothesis, false hypothesis, is called a type 2 error. So any hypothesis testing must be done rightly so as to arrive a decision which is a correct decision. Nowadays we are well versed about corona testing. All of you have heard the cases where a person who has actually corona, in the test they are doing it through nose. And in the test, they themselves they say that it is 70% accurate. What does it mean? It may tell the people who does not have corona as corona infected people. It may also tell the corona infected people as normal fellows. Then they are advised to go for chest scan. So type 1 error and type 2 error. So what is wrong with that? Nothing is wrong with that person. The test has to be potentially developed so as to differentiate between the one who is rightly diseased, the one who is not diseased. Like that, statistical tests are the tests which are devised to assess the validity of a hypothesis. For anything to be accurate, for anything to be valid, we know that the error must be minimum. The error must be minimum. When we minimize the error, accuracy will occur. I noticed that two kinds of errors are occurring in test hypothesis. One is called a type 1 error and another one is called a type 2 error. What is type 1 error? I mean, rejecting when it is good. So when I suspect everything, maybe it is not good, maybe this is not good, maybe. So when I suspect everything, I may not be getting I may skip the chance of a good item also. When I accept everything, In Tamil, we say that velutadalam paal. Abdin nenacha, then there is a possibility of taking phenyl as milk. Therefore, I have to control these two errors. Statistically, we are controlling two errors, but one error is contrary to other error. If I want to control one error, the probability of committing other error will be increasing. Or if I want to control this error, the probability of committing that error will be increasing. Therefore, I cannot control both errors simultaneously. Therefore, I am fixing one error that is called type 1 error, that we call it as level of significance, that we call it as p-value every Tessa hypothesis. If we fix one here, and through our mathematical analysis or statistical analysis, we control the other error. That is, the probability of committing type 1 error is called level of significance. Therefore, this is the main concept behind the test of hypothesis. How we are going to test, that is the difference of, there are so many tests are available. Somebody says that in some board of studies, you are putting only estimation theory, sir. The portion is very, very minimum. Don't think so. There is a separate course. We are doing it for test of hypothesis and statistical estimation. I will explain all those things in detail, if possible, in the next class. But as the time is too short, I just wind up my lecture. There are two things: hypothesis testing of parameters, hypothesis testing which are not parameters. Those things are coming under non-parametric hypothesis. Non-parametric hypothesis. People are rarely use non-parametric testing in their research. There may not be knowing about such things are available in statistics. But I encourage all of you, there is a set of procedures in which we can test the characteristics which are not at all parameters. For example, testing the equality of median. So those things are coming under non-parametric methodology. I will explain if time allows in the next class. Thank you. If there are any any kind of questions you are having in your mind, please ask me.
Dear participants, kindly ask your queries.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
சார் பயோஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸ் எடுக்கும் போது நீங்க ரொம்ப எந்துவா எடுக்கிறீங்க. ரிசர்ச் மெத்தடாலஜி வரும்போது கொஞ்சம் டயர்டா தெரியுது. அது உங்களுடைய ஃபீல்டுன்றதுனால மேபி லைக் தட். ஆனா இன்னைக்கு வந்து அந்த பயோஸ்டாட்டிக்ஸோட அதிக எந்துவா இன்னைக்கு எடுத்தீங்க சார். தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச். யூ கிளியர்ட் எவ்ரிதிங். டு பி ஃப்ராங்க், இன்னைக்கு எல்லாமே நல்லா கிளியரா புரிஞ்சுது. ஈவன் தோ வி ஹவ் கம்ப்ளீட்டட் a doctorate, it is easy for us to understand with the example also, sir. வேற ஏதாவது புக்ஸ் ரிசர்ச் மெத்தடாலஜில இந்த ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்கல்ஸ் எல்லாம் படிக்கிறதுக்கு if you have any books kindly let me know, sir. Books for statistics, basics and
basic statistics books are plenty which are highly available in the market.
For analysis, for the research work, sir.
For biology, there are two books. Book by Daniel. Biostatistics by Daniel is well admired book. Sir. And we can have biostatistical analysis by ZAR, Z-A-R, ZAR. That is also.
So we are from management science.
Yes.
And psychology related.
Yes. When it comes to psychology, then it is again biostatistics.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
When we
how you are able to remember all those things at a particular period of time, sir? You can recollect everything due to usage of all these things, I think so, sir. When we are in the initial stage, we might be struggling, but when we are used to that, we may also be having that much knowledge, I think so.
In statistics, we are rarely admire application-oriented research problems.
Yes, sir.
We used to develop equations, solving the equation. So many researchers are going like that and only. But when it comes to the field of application, then the real question occurs. But I am interested in applying statistics only.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. You have cleared a lot, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the organizing committee, sir.
Thank you.
Any other queries? Okay, sir, no queries.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Parvada ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the clarifications for the doubts. Now I
Thank you,
call
thank you.
upon Madam Solai Rani to present the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Chief Guest Dr. R. Jayasankar Sir, Professor, Department of Statistics, Bharatiyar University, Coimbatore, for making this course interesting and meaningful, sir. Your section are very useful to us, sir. So once again, I thank you so much, sir. This I would like to thank our Honorable Managing Trustee Dr. K. Sendil Ganesh sir, Secretary Professor Ma'am, Sarama Soundwell Madam, and Controller of Examiner Dr. Meera Raman Madam for their motivations. I would like to express our deep gratitude to our principals Dr. T. Sivakumar sir and Vice Principal sir for their support for the conduct of this program. And my special thanks to our DPT Star Coordinator, Dr. R. Dhanabalan sir, for providing us with all possible logistic support. I would like also thanks our beloved senior faculty, Dr. S.P. Palnichami sir, and co-organizer, Mr. S. Samina ma'am, head of the department biochemistry, and Mrs. M. Indumati ma'am, head of the department mathematics for their guidance and moral support. And also, I am thanked to express what of thanks to all directors, HODs, and faculty members in various and inside the campus. Once again, I thank you all for your coordinator and cooperations. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, sir.